The long-awaited $7,559 Tesla Tiny House is finally here, but what Elon Musk didn't tell us might be even more fascinating than the house itself. Everyone's talking about the design, the sleek solar setup, and the promise of complete energy independence. Yet, beneath the headlines, there's a deeper story unfolding, one that's not just about innovation, but about the laws, policies, and regulations that could decide whether Tesla's tiny house becomes a nationwide revolution, or just another niche experiment. California is the epicenter of this unfolding housing transformation. On paper, the state claims to be solving its housing crisis by encouraging the development of accessory dwelling units, or ADS. These are small, secondary homes built on existing residential lots. Lawmakers have even passed legislation to ban cities from enforcing minimum lot size requirements, making it easier for people to build smaller, more affordable homes. However, the reality paints a very different picture. Despite these apparent reforms, more than 1 in 3 ADU applications in the state either stall or fail altogether. Why? Because of a hidden obstacle: local hookup rules. Cities can't legally require minimum lot sizes anymore, but they still control water, sewer, and power hookups, and that gives them the power to stall or block projects that don't fit their vision. Now, contrast that with Tesla's tiny house. Unlike conventional ADS or mobile homes, Tesla's design doesn't depend on municipal hookups at all. It's built for full independence. The unit is powered by a 2.5 kilowatt solar system, paired with a 13.5 kilowatt-hour Tesla Powerwall for energy storage. That combination doesn't just make the home self-sustaining, it effectively removes it from the grasp of utility-dependent building codes. It means no city can deny you permission based on local utility infrastructure. You could, in theory, park it anywhere: a backyard, an empty lot, or even a piece of rural land far from the grid, and live completely off the system. But that freedom is exactly what terrifies regulators. Because if you can live independently, you're not just avoiding energy bills, you're escaping the entire web of fees, inspections, and zoning control that cities rely on for revenue and influence. The Tesla tiny house challenges the foundation of how housing laws have worked for decades. It's not a fight about engineering or safety. Tesla's technology is proven and reliable. The real fight is political and bureaucratic. Will regulators allow technology to move faster than the law? The timing of this challenge couldn't be more critical. Across the U.S., families are facing skyrocketing housing and energy costs. For many, homeownership feels completely out of reach. The Tesla tiny house offers something radical: a modern, affordable, sustainable home that runs on the same clean energy principles Tesla applies to its cars. But there's a catch. No matter how advanced the technology is, it still needs legal permission to exist. The fight for the future of housing isn't happening in showrooms or tech expos. It's happening in local planning commissions, city councils, and state legislatures that are decades behind in understanding how quickly off-grid living technology has evolved as Tesla steps into this space. The company faces not just engineering questions, but fundamental policy conflicts. California's ADU laws are meant to help create more affordable housing, but the bureaucratic maze of local zoning, permits, and utility requirements is still deeply entrenched. In Los Angeles County alone, reports show thousands of applications delayed due to compliance inconsistencies. Bureaucrats speak for cities not wanting to give up control. Now, imagine Tesla introducing a prefabricated, transportable, solar-powered home that doesn't need traditional hookups or foundations. It's sleek, compact, and could cost less than the average American's annual rent. The idea itself threatens the existing system because it changes the economics of homeownership. Tesla isn't just building a tiny house. It's building a symbol of independence. It's one that could break the monopoly of traditional housing and utilities. That's why the coming battle isn't about whether Tesla can build this home. It's about whether governments will let people live in it. Take California as an example again. Even though tiny homes are gaining popularity, many cities classify them as recreational vehicles rather than permanent dwellings. Once classified as an RV, it must comply with vehicle and camping laws rather than housing codes. And that classification triggers another issue: parking. Local zoning laws dictate where RVs can be parked, and in many urban areas, permanent RV living is prohibited. Even when you try to navigate around those rules, cities can impose minimum size requirements for accessory units, often demanding a foundation of at least 400 square feet. Tesla's tiny home, designed to be efficient and compact, falls below that size in most cases. That means it automatically fails to qualify as an ADU under existing regulations. And because it's built for mobility, cities often argue it doesn't meet local building codes either. The result? Around 25% of tiny home or ADU applications are rejected outright, and many more are stuck in endless cycles of appeals, resubmissions, and compliance reviews. Florida faces similar problems, but from a different angle. The state's zoning regulations require a minimum of 150 square feet per occupant. At first glance, that might seem fair, but it creates serious hurdles for minimalist designs like Tesla's. Each additional occupant drives up the required total square footage, forcing families to either expand their units or face rejection. Add in the mandatory safety inspections, permits, and local infrastructure requirements, and the costs start piling up fast. According to homeowners who've tried to go the legal route, appeal costs alone can run between $2,000 and $5,000 per year. Money that could have gone toward actually improving the home or installing renewable energy systems. It's an ironic situation. The paperwork often costs more than the home itself. For people drawn to the Tesla tiny house for financial freedom and simplicity, that's a frustrating reality. These challenges aren't theoretical. They are real, measurable financial traps affecting thousands of Americans right now. Many families are stuck paying rent they can't afford, dreaming of moving into a tiny home that's technically legal but practically impossible to install without. Thousands in hidden fees and legal costs. This is why Tesla's approach, focusing on off-grid capability, is so disruptive. It directly challenges the gatekeeping mechanisms that have kept affordable housing out of reach for decades. The broader implication here is enormous. If Tesla's off-grid system proves successful and compliant with safety standards, it could force governments to rethink the entire concept of what defines a house. For the first time, homes wouldn't have to rely on city power lines, water systems, or gas infrastructure. A fully self-contained structure like Tesla's could democratize housing the same way. Tesla's electric cars democratized clean transportation. But that revolution requires more than technology. It needs legal reform. Tesla's tiny house could also reshape the insurance landscape. Right now, most insurers don't know how to categorize such properties. If it's considered a vehicle, it falls under auto or RV coverage. If it's a structure, it should be home insurance. But because it's mobile and energy independent, it fits neatly into neither category. This regulatory gray area means insurers often charge higher premiums, demand third-party inspections, or refuse coverage altogether. And since most states require proof of insurance before granting residential permits, this becomes another hidden roadblock. In short, Tesla's biggest obstacle isn't in manufacturing or design. It's in navigating an outdated system built for a different era of housing. The irony is striking. A company that has mastered electric vehicles, solar energy, and AI-driven efficiency now finds itself constrained by century-old zoning language. Yet, that's also what makes this story so compelling. Tesla's entry into the housing market isn't just a product launch. It's the start of a new cultural and legal confrontation. The promise of a $7,559 Tesla tiny house is revolutionary. It's a price point that challenges the very definition of affordable living. Most Americans spend more than that annually on rent, utilities, or mortgage payments. A one-time purchase for a self-sustaining, solar-powered, and portable home could literally redefine the American dream. But the system isn't ready for it, at least. Not yet. This tension between innovation and regulation is what makes the Tesla tiny house such a fascinating experiment. On one hand, You have the public desperate for solutions to the housing and energy crises. On the other, you have a complex web of local rules designed to maintain control over land use, tax revenue, and infrastructure development. Somewhere in between lies the future one where individuals might finally be able to live sustainably without being financially or bureaucratically trapped. Tesla's approach seems to anticipate these hurdles. By building an all-in-one package, energy generation, storage, and shelter, Tesla removes the dependency on external systems. The home doesn't need to connect to a grid, doesn't rely on municipal water, and doesn't emit any pollution. In principle, that makes it easier to set up and live in virtually anywhere. The challenge now is proving that this model can coexist with existing laws or more radically inspire new ones. For Elon Musk, this isn't just a housing solution. It's part of a broader vision of autonomy. Energy autonomy, transportation autonomy,